Hey guys, and welcome to another deck surgery mini episode. Today, I've chosen a deck sent in to me by SeanThao, and it's a build of LostGar with Mew Prime. Here's the list that he sent to me. Overall, your list looks fairly solid, and I like the inclusion of Vileplume since it isn't really seen in many LostGar builds at the moment. The issue with Vileplume is that the 40 HP Oddish could become a bit of an issue. Since Yanmega is so popular at the moment, Oddish is going to have to be out and evolved before your opponent has a chance to make it the target of linear attack. The only real way to avoid this is to bench 2 Oddish at the same time, not putting you in the best position in terms of bench space, but you'll have to make sure you can evolve it next turn or your opponent is going to get 2 free prizes. Just a little bit of advice when playing Vileplume at the moment. Your Pokemon line is looking good, but I'd personally change it up just a tiny bit. I would consider bumping up the Vileplume line to 222, so that you have a way to get Vileplume out if Rare Candy isn't coming or when Gloom is prized, or you just have no other option but to evolve it manually. 4 Mew Prime is also great in the deck, to assure that you're going to get a turn 1 see-off of Gengar Prime, but what you cut will have to depend on other changes in the list. Seeing as you'll be sending 1 Gengar Prime to the Lost Zone straight away, you can always cut a single Haunter to make room for that extra Gloom, since you can Rare Candy a Gengar before Vileplume is out, and then manually evolve them thereafter, with enough Haunters available to do that. In your message, you wanted to know what to take out for Spiritomb, and I would suggest cutting out a single Pokemon communication. Since you're going to be under Trainer Lock for most of the time anyway, these are only going to be used in the early game to get out parts of Vileplume, so cutting one isn't so bad. You also run the max search of twins, so just taking out that third communication won't hurt your game too badly. This change will give you the single Spiritomb you need to disrupt your opponent without cutting too much from your strategy, and you'll be able to reuse it multiple times with Seeker throughout the game. Since you're running Vileplume, you may not have enough room for this, but a second Mr. Mime can really help your decisions within the game. If you have 2 Mimes on the bench, you can look at your opponent's hand before and after a Spooky Whirlpool, so that you make sure you are either definitely getting that Lost Zone Pokemon or need to drop some damage counters instead. If you can fit it in, it can make your decisions easier and help you to get those Pokemon Lost Zoned even faster. As for the trainer lines, I'm liking what you have here. Max Twins and Seeker are great plays to make sure you have the maximum search power to get that Vileplume going, and have the ability to force your opponent to pick up a Pokemon for you to just hurl away. The only other change that I would make would be to max out Pokemon Collector, and think about which of the 2 professors you prefer and use more often. I would go with taking out the 2 Juniper for a maxed out Pont line, just so that you have a constant hand refresher, since not many things in this deck are going to be useful in the discard pile, especially when there's no junk arm. Having max Pont will also allow you to get those things you need and recycle your hand while under your own trainer lock. Other than that, the rest should stay the same. If you want to add the extra collector in, dropping one of your Psychic Energy wouldn't hurt so much, since you also have Jirachi in there to fish them back if needed. For energy, I like the rescue since you're going to be recycling Mews quite often, and you can even save you a Gengar when it's on the verge of being KO'd. Overall, you built it very well, and there are only a few things I would change to make it a little bit more consistent and give you more options during the game. Thanks for sending in your list, and I hope this helped. Thanks for watching this mini episode, and make sure you keep sending in your lists so I can keep doing these. Make sure you check out the website for another written one in the next few days, and I'll see you on Saturday for the next episode of Poker Class.